guys, we are back for another Dokkan battle video. So this is going to be the level 10 link rainbow video for the banner unit Tora that is coming out along with Bardock. I do think that this Tora probably is going to be pretty decent. I mean, I'll find out exactly how good once I start taking these units into the red zone, once I get them leveled up and stuff like that. We'll kind of get a better assessment of how well this character will tank and support and all this stuff, right? I do think the unit at least seems pretty solid, though. But what we're going to do here is, because some of these banner units are really designed to be run alongside the Dokkan Fest unit, especially this Tora right here, I am going to awaken him, you know, just get him 55%, and I'll use him alongside Bardock in the 55% showcase. Even though I do think this Tora is pretty good, I do think this is also a good example of a fumble that Dokkan did with this Bardock celebration. Bardock, like, they along with Bardock, they just gave us a banner unit Tora, right? That's it. This should have at least been a new named character, right? Like, all four of them are right there, but it's only, this unit is just only actually Tora. What this should have been is, I think it should have just emulated the Ginyu Force. We should have had a Tora and Fasha, and then a Borgos and Shugesh card to help Bardock out. I think that would have been a lot better. But regardless, this unit should look pretty good. I'm going to awaken him now. We'll come back and rainbow him in a bit, and then we'll continue the video once I get him to level 10 links. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and put the Rainbow Star on this Tora banner unit. Of course, we're going full defense, full dodge as much as possible. That is absolutely what you want to do with this character. I would say forsake any damage. The point of this character is to just really help out the storied figure category, and I think having them just not really let you down defensively, to me, feels like the best idea. Because they have damage reduction, I did really want to get some defensive equips on there as well. Now, because this unit is INT anyway, I can't give them bronze and silver dodge equips, unfortunately. So, we did have to go in a different direction, but defense is fine, right? Because they are going to have damage reduction. Bare minimum, they'll have 10% damage reduction no matter what, right? Which can make a bit of a difference, especially if their defense gets really high. So extra defensive equips can certainly help there. Alright, now let me just get this Tora unit to Rainbow, and we should be looking pretty good here. Or not Rainbow, wait. Full level 10 links. I'm a silly guy. Alright guys, we are here in an event. Let's go ahead and take a look at the new banner unit Tora here, right? So, I think that this Tora is going to be a decent option. Seems like, you know, from my experience using this character in, like, the Bardock, Red Zone, No Item Challenge, and stuff like that, this unit is not really, like, super up to task for tanking. It's like, they're definitely better than, say, Trunks and Giru, but I feel like I would rank Jason Birder above this character. This character hits a little bit harder than Jason Birder. But I mean, Tora here doesn't have guaranteed additionals, huh? But I think this unit will probably hit a little bit harder than Jason Birder, but I think this ability that we have right here, so this is a 10% chance to crit, dodge, and damage reduction per Team Bardock category ally in the same turn. It doesn't quite cut it, I feel. That should be stronger. I think, I mean, it's so funny. It's at 10%. If you buff it to 20%, this unit becomes unstoppable, right? Because that would all of a sudden then be a 60% chance of 60% damage reduction, 60% chance to crit, 60% chance to dodge. Maybe 15%. So if you have a full Team Bardock rotation, it would be 45% chance to dodge and 45% damage reduction. That would be very busted, but I feel like if it was buffed to 15%, this unit is still not better than STR Piccolo and Android 8. So, like, going through today's video, I feel like the main thing to look here, this unit was close. You buff that number from 10% to 15%, and I think this unit is substantially better, right? Because it's like, especially because it's just based upon the Team Bardock allies, you probably could buff it even to 20%, right? So that way, you know, you have this guy and Tech Bardock on rotation, for example, and he'd have a 40% chance to dodge and a 40% damage reduction ability, right? So, like, this rotation right here, remember that the Super Saiyan Physical Bardock, as great as he is, he is not actually on the Team Bardock category, right? So he is not actually going to be getting all of these extra sort of abilities for Tora, right? Even though he does work super well. The other main thing, the reason Jason Birder, I think, is sort of the comparison for this character, is because their major asset is the same type of support, right? Jason Birder give Space Traveling Warriors support, and then another support buff to all allies if Ginyu is in the rotation. Tora is the same thing. It's 30% support and 3 key to storied figures, and then 30% attack and defense to all allies if there's a Bardock in the same turn. So this unit really does want to be used with Bardock. Okay, let's go ahead and see what we get right here. This at least should be a decent rotation. I don't really know what we'll do with this video. I mean, we'll do this run. Just this run might be sufficient, right? I think this Tora is, if this unit has type advantage, this is a great Cell Max character. Red Zone Bojack, Red Zone Full Power Frieza. Those fights this character is great on. I don't know if I would necessarily say that I would want to take this unit into every single Red Zone fight, but they are definitely decent. I feel like at least this level is kind of acceptable for banner units. I don't look at this unit and think, what in the Christ were they thinking, the way I do with like Trunks and Giru, right? Who it's just like, they just drop this character that just gets crushed. The character just gets shit on, right? Like it's very unimpressive what they're able to do. The Trunks and Giru for the most part. Oh, we can get the KO. Oh my god, dude. An opportunity to get the KO. Dude, this KO screen I've found is pretty rare for me. Let's do the KO screen right here since we can get this. Cool, let's do this. Beautiful. That does look pretty good. I like that. I like that. I like that. KO screens, it's very easy for them to just give a little bit of extra aesthetic to some of these characters, right? You know, just boom, little KO screen and they're cooking. All right, so I think this is pretty much going to be the best rotation we'll see from this unit right here. So in terms of getting the extra support, right, any Bardock does count. We're going to be able to... Well, actually, we probably would get a slightly better turn next turn, huh? With Super Saiyan 3 Bardock giving the 50% support over the physical Bardock giving 30%. We're at 348k defense right here. I guess one other weakness I could identify, no defense in the super attack effect. I hate that. This is exactly the type of character that really would benefit from it. 30% attack for one turn, and then superclass allies get the 30% attack, right? So, like, that's decent. When they give these types of buffs, though, I really feel like they should be giving it, like, it should be superclass allies attack. I think these, like, I don't really go crazy over that, right? So, again, superclass allies, 30% attack for one turn. I think what they should do is these, like, if it had defense in there and it lasted for 2 turns, that would really be very interesting, right? Like, a character that could potentially defensive support for multiple turns. That's something I'm sure they're going to start doing, because you look at... So they made all these million damage boss red zone super attack bosses, right? Who are really, really tough to get around. And then they drop, like, Dokkan Fest Kid Goku, who gives the entire rotation damage reduction. So, like, that's what I could see them doing quite often is, you know, they would release a character like in Super Saiyan 3 Bardock, who is an offensive powerhouse, but really, truly is a glass cannon. But then they drop, you know, the new LR Super Saiyan 3 Bardock, and then he gives, you know, like, damage reduction to the rotation or something like that. Like, that is how they could do that, to sort of create a pecking order of, oh yeah, the best, you know, premium new summonable units, you know, they're giving, like, you know, those types of abilities to the rest of the rotation. That's something I could see Dokkan continue to do. That Kid Goku formula, probably. Our link set here, looks like it's a different order in the wiki. Okay, so Tora's link set, it's Saiyan Warrior Race, then that is Saiyan Lineage, Cold Judgment, Team Bardock, Saiyan Pride, Prepare for Battle, and Fierce Battle is what our boy Tora's link set is. We'll be able to get everything activated here except for Cold Judgment. The LR Team Bardock right here, Actually, I'm going to use a Ghost Usher. Because I want to make sure. I think that Broly can stun or something like that. He might be able to. I just want to pop that to make sure we get this super attack off. Because this will be good damage for Tora, right? Like, Tora could get, like, a decent sort of attack stat, but I just really wish, that it was a little bit more predicated toward defensive ability. I think, you know, the better defense a character has, it's just what we need at this point, right? It's like, especially like, you look at why is the Cell Max event so hard? Well, for the most part, it's because of the fact that he limits items, right? Like, you can only bring a Senzu. You can't bring Whis items. You can't bring Ghost Usher. You know, these popular defensive items to help allow you get through these really tough sort of like fights and stuff like that. Those aren't there. I think that's a huge thing. Okay, I actually would really like to finish this God Goku off right here. So let me hope that I do that. Hopefully, I know that this God Goku can seal as well. Hopefully Fasha will dodge his super attack. I want to finish this God Goku off on this turn, because I want to see what we're going to get on the next rotation. Okay, so Fasha gets her dodge off, which gives us the huge support buff for the whatchamacallit. That gives us the huge support buff for the rotation. Remember that Fasha is actually pretty good in terms of a support character and dodging and stuff like that. I've found her to be a rather effective tool against, you know, like Cell Max, right? Okay, so pretty good. This, I think, will probably now be this will be the best turn we'll see from Tora. Defense a little bit lower compared to last turn, but that's because Super Saiyan 3 Bardock is only giving offensive support and not defensive support, right? Remember that we are going to be giving, you know, the 60% support to storied figure allies, and we're going to be giving 30% attack and defensive support to the rest of the allies. Yeah, I mean, I think the main thing with this character is maybe just give them 30% defense on their super attack effect, or buff their crit damage reduction and dodge percent from 10 to like 15 or 20. I think just like very small changes like that would go a great way towards making this Tora stronger. Because remember, the point of these banner units now, we could look at some of the truly busted Dokkan Fests this year. Yeah, let's look at this. Ginyu. Why was Ginyu so good? Well, because Ginyu came out with Rakumen Goldo and Jason Birder, characters that completely maximize Ginyu's strengths in the hardest content in the game. Look at Pan. Pan is a character, I feel like Pan, like, she's comparable to Ginyu strength-wise, but she just, I like Rakumen Goldo and, like, Jason Birder above, like, anything that could sort of help Pan, right? Like, Pan was not given what she needs to succeed, right? Look at Kid Goku. Kid Goku, would be a god no matter what, but they gave him literally an unstoppable, borderline, one of the best defensive units in the game to go with Kid Goku, right? So it's like these banner units are huge nowadays towards determining how good these Dokkan Fest characters are on release, right? Like, yeah, a character can be super good. Sure, they're great. But, you know, it's like you can't, you know, you're building 6-man teams here, right? Like, it is tough to do it all by themselves unless the unit is truly exceptional, right? Like, even Gamma 1 and Gamma 2, they have each other, right, to draw out their full power. So that's something that Dokkan needs to not do. Like, I love the idea of making the banner unit a huge buff towards the Dokkan Fest character, the premium unit they're dropping. For sure, that is great. But what they need to do is not fumble that character like they did for Pan. Like, if Pan came out, it rather than Trunks and Giru, it should have been like Goku and Giru, right, is what it should have been. And they should have been Android 8 instead. Literally, if Trunks and Giru is Goku and Giru, GT Goku and Giru, and they're Android 8 instead, Pan is actually, like, God, right? Like, she would really be that good. Like, it's just that the way it's structured right now, it's very difficult to take advantage of her strengths, right? So, I don't know. Let's do one more rotation right here. Let me know what you guys think of this Tora unit. Again, the extra damage reduction and dodge abilities and stuff like that the unit's got is definitely cool, but I found it to really not be enough, right, against the really toughest bosses in the game. I gave this Tora full dodge for exactly this reason, right? Because this, for the most part, I view this as like a support type unit, right? You know, they've got a little dodge built in. I gave him full dodge from their potential system as well. They got a little bit of damage reduction. Their defense is usually at a decent level, provided we have, you know, some of their big links up like Team Bardock, right? Saiyan Lineage, Cold Judgment, Prepare for Battle, all can give defense, right? So, I don't know. I do like this character. They could have been a little bit better, but I would say that this is like an acceptable level, this Tora. This Tora, I would not call this unit bad or a fumble. They could have been a bit better, but this is still a unit you can get away with. A lot of times, I think type neutral, definitely not type disadvantage, but type advantage, I think this unit is a great pick. Type neutral, you can get away with it depending upon what the boss's phases are and stuff like that. Overall, decent, but again, certainly could have been, I think, a bit better. Alright, this is Union of Saiyans, Tora. His leader skill is Storied Figures, category key 3 and 130% to stats. By the way, I think one other way this potentially is a bit of a fumble is, I mean, they could have done what they did for Ginyu, which is where they gave Ginyu 2 characters, right? Ginyu had Raccoon Goldo and Jason Birder, both new named characters. This should have been, like, I think they should have done the same formula, which is, you know, Fasha and Tora, and then Borgos and Shugesh. But they just dropped this unit, which has all of them together, but it's still just called Tora, right? This should at least be called a different name right here. This should be a new named character. Tora's, again, leader skill, Sword Figures, category key 330% of stats. Super attack is Combined Saiyan Might, which raises attack by 30% for 1 turn, does supreme damage to the enemy, and then raises super class allies attack by 30% for 1 turn. Just giving 30% defense to this character would help, I think, quite a bit. Maybe giving super class allies attack and defense could help. But, I mean, I would really love, you know, they would start turning these into 2 turns. That would be good. Tora's passive, Exhibition of Leadership, gives him 2 key and 150% attack and defense at the start of turn. Getting the 2 key there is pretty solid. Plus, he does support for 3 key, so he's always giving himself 5 key and essentially guaranteed supering, right? Tora gets another 50% attack and defense on super attack. So, you know, on a lot of those turns, we were seeing him at, like, you know, 350k defense, stuff like that. You know, so he was up close to 500k defense. Certainly good. With type advantage, you know, he would be able to eat some of those big super attacks rather well, right? You know, 500k-ish defense, a little bit of damage reduction, give him the dodge chance, and he could cook, potentially. But still, just a little bit more, I think, would be very helpful. Then Tora gets an additional 20% attack and defense per Storied Figures category ally on the team, up to a maximum of 100%. So, you know, needing to use kind of a shitty category is unfortunate, but every Team Bardock member is on that category, right? Then Bardock gets a 10% chance to crit, 10% chance to dodge, and 10% damage reduction per Team Bardock category ally attacking in the same turn. So no matter what, he's always going to have 10% chance to crit, dodge, and 10% damage reduction, because he himself does count, and then other Team Bardock units will help that. This is where it's pretty dumb. You know, Super Saiyan 3 Bardock, the Super Saiyan Bardocks are not on Team Bardock, which sucks. Because those characters, you know, they do form a pretty good team, right? All, like, running on Storied Figures and stuff like that. It's a shame that, for vague nonsense reasons, like, those Bardocks don't count, right? Like, I think Dragon Ball Super Bardock, right, from, like, the Dragon Ball Super manga and the one from the Broly movie, he doesn't have it, sure. But, like, the thing is about the Xenoverse and Dragon Ball Heroes Bardocks and shit like that, is that they are that original Bardock, just, you know, like, going through, like, the time travel or nonsense bullshit, right? But I think those characters should still have it. It sucks, right? Then finally, Tora gives Storied Figures category allies 3 key, 30% attack and defense. And then all allies get an additional 30% attack and defense if there's a Bardock in the same turn. So Tora is giving 60% support at his best. Again, very similar to Jason Birder. I think Tora is a slightly worse Jason Birder, is how I feel. Tora's link set is Team Bardock, Saiyan Warrior Race, Saiyan Pride, Saiyan Lineage, Cold Judgment, Prepare for Battle, and Fierce Battle. Pretty decent Saiyan link set. 12 Q multiplier is 140%. And then our boy Tora has a couple of different categories here. He, of course, is on the Storied Figures team. Storied Figures certainly looking a lot better now, running just like a full Team Bardock setup. All right, that certainly is good. Tora is also over here in the low-class Warrior category, which is now much better as well. Then Tora right here is on the Pure Saiyan category team. Tora also is on the Team Bardock category. And then finally, Tora is on Space Traveling Warriors. So there we go. There is this banner unit Tora. Let me know what you guys think of him. Thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.